I am pretty sure that nearly all black powder shooters has a single-shot percussion pistol on hand. This film is about one of the best sidelock pistols and about the history of the Kuchenreuter family. Follow me. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Capandball here, your favorite gun channel in beautiful bright English language. And I have a beautiful topic for you today that has in theory in it and also practice. I'm going to talk about the history of the Kuchenreuter family, one of the most famous gun-making family of the world, and also we are going to shoot Pedersoli's Kuchenreuter percussion pistol repro. Come with me. When you start shooting percussion pistols, you technically have two options to choose from. The first one is sidelock pistols, like this Pedersoli Lepage. This is the pistol that I started competitive shooting back in 2001 or 2, something like that. And the other choice is the underhammer pistols, like this Pedersoli Kuk here. This is a side lock because the lock of the pistol is on the side, it's obvious. And this is an underhammer pistol because the hammer is on the underside of the bore. That's easy also. Well, the underhammer pistols have actually a lot of advantage compared to the side locks. First of all, as the hammer is in the center of the barrel, the vibration that the hammer is creating when you're shooting the pistol is much less. And also these pistols are a bit more modern than the sidelock percussion pistols, so they have better grips. They usually have grips that are very close to the modern target pistol grips. So these two pistols used to compete in the same international category that was called Kuchenreuter. What a coincidence! But 2 years ago, it was divided into two different disciplines, which is the Kuchenreuter sidelock and the Kuchenreuter underhammer. So now, if you want to shoot a cool-looking sidelock pistol, you don't have to compete against the underhammers, which is good, which is obviously a good choice. This, of course, does not mean that the sidelocks are not capable of the same accuracy. Well, the bores are just as accurate as in the case of the underhammer pistols, but they need a bit more practice. So it's a bit more tricky to shoot these, but they absolutely look better. I started my international pistol shooting career in 2003 in Halikko, Finland. At the European Championships, I was shooting this Pedersoli Lepage pistol. And I was so nervous that I remember I could not even load my pistol properly. My hands were shaking, I could not pour the powder into the powder funnel. And I remember that when I raised the pistol for the first shot, I had to lower it at least 3 or 4 times before I could even fire that first single shot. But when I fired it, I felt that's a good shot. It should be a 10 or a 9. When I checked the target through my scope, the shot was missing from that target. It was not there. And that was a point when a buddy shooter, a British shooter who was standing beside me, just knocked my back and said, "Balázs, you just shot a 9 on my target." I felt so embarrassed. I had only one wish when I went to Finland, and to not be the last one. Well, out of 68 shooters, I was the 67th. It was not the last. My pistol for the test was the 44 caliber version. This is a well-balanced arm with a good hold, especially if you have a larger hand. The first charge I tried was 15 grains of 3F Swiss powder, 18 grains of semolina as filler, a 0.25 mm patch, and a 0.435 inch pure lead round ball. I like using semolina as it has a good effect on gas pressures. Acts as a buffer between the powder and the ball, so it equalizes the force as I push down the charge. the sword. So that was 4 shots with 15 grains of powder, and it's not that tight as I like it, so we are going to change the charge. I'm going to reduce the powder charge. Let's try it again. So my first international competition was a complete mess, but I kept on shooting pistols. I'm now a rifle shooter, but I still enjoy shooting these percussion pistols. And in fact, last year I won a World Championships bronze medal in Kuchenreuter original class, shooting a very closely resembling pistol like this Lepage, but an original one made in Belgium in the 19th century. And I really have to say that if I could learn how to shoot the pistol, then anybody can, because I was probably the worst pistol shooter in my club. I always wanted a Pedersoli Kuchenreuter pistol to shoot with, but my funds were limited, which meant that I could only afford by that time Pedersoli Lepage, but I was very happy with that pistol, and in fact the Pedersoli Lepage can do everything that you need for winning an international match. But this year I had a chance to try finally the Kuchenreuter pistol at the Pedersoli factory. Here is the story. But before we go on, let me thank you for your support. Your donations through Patreon are vital for keeping the quality of the channel high. Here you can find exclusive content as well. And please don't forget that we are also present on the History of Weapons and War platform, which gives you an ad-free possibility to watch all the videos that I create and also the exclusive content. So please check into any of these platforms. And if you like what I do, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification button, and also comment, share and like the video. That will help the channel to grow. Let's talk about the Kuchenreuter family. Well, probably the Kuchenreuter family is one of the most known gun-making families of the world. And in fact, this company is still making guns today. Of course, not muzzle loaders, but they make very, very fine hunting and target shooting arms. I wonder if you ever thought about what their secret was. Well, my answer is simple. If you find a gun with the Kuchenreuter name on it, it must be good quality arm. If it is not good quality arm, it is a fake for sure. The Kuchenreuter family only manufactured quality hunting and target shooting arms. Well, that's the core of the business. Second, the distribution was very good. In the past 300 years, the Kuchenreuter family, 3 branches of the Kuchenreuter family, joined nearly 30 gunsmiths. So their coverage was large, their output was large, which means that their name could survive. Third, they had an excellent reputation. Emperors, kings, princes and other nobilities used their arms. It is said that Giovanni Casanova, the famous romantic hero of the 18th century, also had a Kuchenreuter dueling pistol pair. He fought a duel with this pistol with a Polish general called Branicki, and of course Casanova won. The Kuchenreuter family originated from Oberpfalz, now in Germany, from the village of Kuchenreuth. This Kuchenreuth village is very close to Chemnat, the town of Chemnat. And it is, let's say, 100 kilometers to the northeast of Nuremberg. The first record about a gunsmith named Kuchenreuter, or as it is stated in the archival records, Kuchenreuter, written with an L instead of the N and with a TH instead of the T, is associated with a marriage. This marriage happened in 1695, 16th of May. The master gunsmith Thomas Wilfing of Steinweg had died in February, so his wife didn't wait too long to remarry. Johann Christoph Kuchenreuter was a journeyman in the Wilfing workshop, so Johann Christoph married the widow. Steinweg is today within the city limits of Regensburg in Bayern. It used to be an independent settlement in front of the north gates of the city, between the Danube and the Regen rivers. Probably this marriage was not based on true love but on the common interest. The widow had 2 children, a daughter and a son that she had to look after, so it was obvious that he knew this journeyman and they could carry on the business together, so she did not go bankrupt. Johann Christoph and the widow, Maria Magdalena, as she was called, had no children together, and the widow died in 1709, and after a few months, Johann Christoph married again. He married a girl from Wörth an der Donau in 1710. The girl's name was Margarete Schreiber, and they had 10 children. 3 of them became gunsmiths, and they established the 3 branches of the Kuchenreuter family. So these were Johann Jakob, who was born in 1709, so before the marriage, 1 year before the marriage. Well, he established the Stadtdammhof line. The second one was Josef. He established the Regensburg line. He was born in 1712. And the third one was Johann Andreas. He carried on the business of the father. He was born in 1716. So he is the one who actually established the Steinweg line. Actually, there's also a 4th line that is associated with the town of Cham, which is also very close to Regensburg. But we are going to talk about this later. It doesn't matter which branch of the Kuchenreuter family we are talking about. They never established a factory or manufactory, but they solely focused on making luxury arms, individual high-quality arms, within the guild system. Being within the guild system meant that a gunsmith started its career with apprenticeship for 2 or 3 years. Then he became a journeyman. This period could last up to 10 years as well. And after making the masterpiece, he could become the independent master of the guild, which was the goal of this whole procedure. So the founding father of the Stadttamhofer line was Johann Jakob, who was born in 1709. In 1740, he married the daughter of a shopkeeper on Stadttamhof. That's a little island on the northern part of Regensburg. This actually was the beachhead of the city. This was the city gate from the northern direction. It was a well-protected part of the city. Well, the name of this little girl was Anna Marie Berger, and her father had a house on a road called Mangasse, which is on the eastern part of this little island. Today this road is called the Seifensiedergasse, and it is still existing. At the back of the Saint Monk Monastery, there was their gun shop. This is where they practiced their work. Life was not easy for the Stadttamhofer line. At the war of 1809 against Napoleon, their shop was destroyed by looters. But they survived the First World War, survived the Second World War, and the last member of the family was Georg Max Jakob, who died in 1946, and that was the end of the Stadttamhofer line. The next branch is the Regensburger line, which was established by Josef Kuchenreuter, who was born in 1712. He started his gun-making career in 1755, around 1755, as a stockmaker in Regensburg. The last member of the Regensburg branch was Georg Adam, who died in 1938. The third branch is the Steinweger line, which was established actually by Johann Christoph Kuchenreuter. His son, Johann Andreas, was born in 1716, and he took over his father's business in 1742 when his father actually died. They were also working for a time parallelly. They had 2 gunsmith shops on Steinweg Street. Steinweg is also a street in Steinweg. The house numbers were 46 and 48, so you can walk there and watch their gunsmith shops today also. Steinweg is also a part of Regensburg today. It is in between the river Danube and in between the river Regen. The last member of this branch was Johann Adam Kuchenreuter, very well-known, very well-known gunmaker of the Kuchenreuter family, who moved into Regensburg, so they actually moved from Steinweg to Regensburg, and they became, in the 50s, 1850s, they became the court gunsmiths of Maximilian II, King of Bavaria. And that was a very high reputation for the Kuchenreuter family. Johann Adam died in 1869, and that was the end of the Regensburg branch. For the second trial, I reduced the charge to 10 grains of 3F Swiss powder. And I used the same semolina load, the same patch, the same lubrication, and the same bullet. This is the 25-meter group of the Pedersoli Kuchenreuter reproduction percussion pistol, one of the most beautiful percussion pistols on the market today. And it's a real tight group, ladies and gentlemen. I have 4 shots in the size of the inner tent, which is quite good. That is very, very good. Well within the size of the outer tent. And I have 1 flyer there, but that was capandball. This is what happens when you hold your breath back when you're shooting, so don't do it. I'm delighted. That's a comfortable little pistol and elegant.
As I mentioned to you before, there is actually a 4th line as well that is associated with the city of Cham. Cham is around 80 kilometers to the northeast from Regensburg. And this line detached from the Steinweg line in 1824, when the youngest son of Johann Andreas Kuchenreuter moved to this city and married the widow of a gunsmith. It looks like it was a custom in the Kuchenreuter family, and started a business there. Well, in Cham, the 350 years of Kuchenreuter traditions making guns is still alive. So there are actually Kuchenreuter gun makers who are making hunting rifles and target guns today.
In the heart of Cham, Martin Kuchenreuter, born in 1958, and Christoph Kuchenreuter, born in 1965, continue the tradition. And if you travel to this cute little town, don't forget to drop into their store.
Let's talk about the Pedersoli Kuchenreuter pistol. This is a faithful copy of an original that was made somewhere around 1854-55 by Bartholomeus Joseph Kuchenreuter. He was born in 1782 and died in 1864. And he was working in a building called Salzburger Hof. This is in the heart of the city of Regensburg. Regensburg was a Protestant city, but the Kuchenreuters, well, they were Catholics. And the Protestant city does not really favor the Catholic citizens. But the Archbishop of Salzburg had a little building here, a little residence here, that was a Salzburger Hof, where it was allowed to have citizens that were Catholic. And this is where they started the business. Actually, this building is also existing. It's in Salzburger Gasse, very close to the Domplatz. You can also visit that place and think about the Kuchenreuters for a second. The Pedersoli Kuchenreuter pistol is manufactured in 2 versions today. There is a luxury version with beautiful engravings, beautiful gold inlays, and there's also a standard version for everyday use. Both are manufactured in 2 calibers, in 44 caliber and 38 caliber. The 44 caliber bore has a twist rate of 1 turn in 18 inches, while the 38 caliber bore has a twist rate of 1 turn in 15 inches. Quite fast.
If you plan to buy a deluxe version, be prepared for a much longer production lead time, as each and every single piece is engraved individually by the best master engravers of Italy. The Kuchenreuter pistol is equipped with a single set trigger system, adjustable rear sight and a dovetailed front sight. Let's try now some good old-fashioned offhand shooting. Let's check it. And that is 3 shots at 20 meters, not 25 but 20 meters, ladies and gentlemen. I have nearly all the 3 shots in the side of the 10 ring, which is much better than what I usually do with the pistol. 2 shots are quite good shots. I felt that they were on target. The last one I was aiming too long. That is definitely why it is a bit lower than the others. But altogether it's a nice controllable pistol. It's comfortable, well balanced, so that is good for target shooting. Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. You've been watching the Capandball YouTube channel. Don't forget to check our Patreon page where you can find exclusive content, and also don't forget that we are present on the History of Weapons and War platform where you can watch all our content ad-free. The History of Weapons and War platform is a new platform, it's a paid platform, and it is not only Capandball present there, but also other 7 educational gun channels with nearly 5,000 videos now. So ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe, hit the notification button, share, comment and like the video. Until next time, stay cool and keep your powder dry.